You guys want to go ahead and talk about the displacement call that Keith Kimball called? Just for full disclosure, Keith Kimball is one of my mentors. So I really enjoyed him helping me in my career as an official. And I have an emotional investment in this. Looking at it first, I try to think from an official's perspective. The game's going way faster. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, I can't say that I wouldn't have called displacement as well. Mm-hmm. But you look at a replay, and it's so different when you look at a replay slow down. Yeah. It looks like I don't think flag necessarily went through Roberts, honestly.
It was probably at best ticky-tack.
I'd say so.
Because that happens a lot in college basketball. Which, again, if it breaks the rules, it breaks the rules, and it should be called every time.
Yeah.
And so what people don't like is, well, it's when in the game you called it. And so that's what sometimes can get people.
Late game situation, yeah.
And so that's what can get annoying is if, okay, well, it's a foul. If it's a foul, it's a foul, right? Yeah. But, well, they didn't call this foul for, 3/4 of the game, and now when it matters the most, now they're calling these fouls that they weren't calling all game, But it was not much on that play.
Like I said, I look at it, and I know from my own career, I've done the same thing before where the game's going so much faster, and all that. And I know for sure I've called displacements when I was like, ugh, probably wasn't that, but I got to go sell it, make sure coach thinks that I got it.
Yeah.
So now I got two things to say. The Duke fandom lost their minds, and they're like, this official, whoever, they don't know his name, but this official lost us the game. Do you guys know who Jason Whitlock is?
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't he?
He's kind of a nutcase, right?
A little bit. Seems like.
He works for the Blaze.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, listen, we may be conservative. I don't care. If you're conservative, liberal, I don't care. If you're a nut, you're a nut. Mm-hmm. And Whitlock is a nut. He points directly to Keith Kimball and says the reason that Kimball was out there officiating because of DEI initiatives. Keith Kimball is one of the greatest officials in the entire world. I'm not saying that because I know the guy and he's worked with me. He's a tremendous official. He's highly respected. And then he says the reason he called the foul because the white kid had an advantage over the black kid.
Oh my gosh.
It's retarded.
That's ridiculous.
I know it's retarded.
You have like those, okay, and this is every sport, okay? If it's a Super Bowl, if it's basketball, if it's baseball.
Curling.
At the highest levels, the officials are there because they're the best.
Yep.
Because it's the whole Jason Whitlock point.
Yeah.
No, the officials there at the Final Four are there because they're the best. And there's people that review their games. They review every single call they make, every call they miss. That's why those officials are there. They're still humans. They're still going to make bad calls. They're still going to miss calls. They're still going to get calls right. And the expectation for us to be perfect, which I get. Okay, I've coached homeschool basketball. I expect Zach to be perfect when he's reffing a game, obviously, or at least biased towards me. No, and so
you haven't paid me enough money.
I get in the moment, right? You're gonna be like, okay, he didn't get a call right. How dare he? But it's like you gotta understand when the game's going that fast.
But they're all judgment calls.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you're trying to use your best judgment at the moment.
Yeah. It's the end of the game. Things are intense. You want to be at your best.
Yep.
You see Cooper Flag. It looks like he's going through him. Yep. Bam. I got the call. You're like, okay, because I want to make sure I get this call right. And then it ends up not really being a foul. That's probably what it is.
Right, but like after the fact
changed the game.
But after the fact is when you find that out, right? It's not in the moment.
Yeah.
In the moment, you're into that game. You're invested a little bit.
Yeah. Right? And fans sitting at home watching the game on a TV where they get to see the replay slowed down a dozen times, they're not feeling the energy on the court when that call's made, right? Mm-hmm. They're sitting at their couch screaming at a TV because they're smarter than anybody at the stadium. The camera angle was perfect on the call, so how dare the ref get it wrong from his angle? Pointed out, he's not picking on Cooper Flag. And besides, if you're going to, why would he pick on, even if you're saying, well, he's picking on the white guy, it's like, well, he's the best player in college basketball. Why would he pick on him just because he's white?
And here's the thing.
That's stupid.
I'm going to give you a little more insight here. You notice that Keith Kimball didn't work the national championship game.
Okay.
Here's how it works to the NCAA tournament. So you work your first round game, you wait for a call. You get a call that says, hey, congratulations, you made it to the second round. You're working this game. Or you get a call saying, hey, thank you for working. You didn't make the cut this year. Better luck next year. Keith Kimball has incentive to do the best he can. He's made all the way to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. He's never been to a national championship game before. Mm-hmm. He's got incentive to do the best he can. Why would he stick his neck out just to hit on some white kid? Mm-hmm. A friend of mine, Dave Hall, he's been officiating for over 35 years. He's only ever made it to an Elite Eight before. It is so tough to get, even to an NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. Why is he going to pick on the white kid to jeopardize going to a national title game?
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with. He's not there because he's black. He's not picking on a white player because he's racist. I'm sorry, that's
Whitlock's a nut.
That's
I don't care if he's conservative or not. He's a nut.
Yeah,
and that's the end of my tangent right there.
There you go.